everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek. You are watching Kevin the Geek, and welcome back to my monthly video where I respond to your comments. I love making these little videos. They're always such a nice way to engage with the community. So much love to each and every single one of you, as always. Of course, last month it was the very first month where I had my Patreon go live, and I was blown away by, you know, the number of patrons I managed to secure in my first month. To be perfectly honest, wasn't really expecting many at all. Yeah, it was just one of those things I was thinking, it'd be nice, and maybe some people would want to do it, but yeah, you really surprised me by how many people wanted to come on. Obviously, I've got a number of different people at various different levels, and of course we've got some people who have joined on as free members. I am currently trying to work out how I can give a little bit more for the free members on Patreon. Because to be honest, I didn't even think that free members was even a thing until it obviously started going through the month. So yeah, I'm obviously still learning, so please do bear with me, and I would like to try and do a bit more for you. I have made the poll that is on Patreon. I've now made it a public poll, so anyone can currently vote on that, and that is basically for what's going to be the next movie to be coming out on Patreon, the next community choice poll, which there's a couple of different movies on there. I'll put 6 movies on them. Now, of course, the next 4 movies that will be coming out on Patreon aren't community choice ones. They're ones that I've personally chosen to coincide with Halloween. I've got 4 movies that will be coming out. So hopefully 2 this month and then 2 next month. Hopefully then all 4 will come out on YouTube, the condensed versions, by the end of October. But the community poll, I have made that a public one, so that's now available to anyone on there. And the 4 movies that you can go for, I put Carry On Sergeant, which was the first of the Carry On movies. I've not seen any Carry On movie, to be perfectly honest, so I thought that'd be a good place to start. Obviously I did Monty Python and Life of Brian earlier this year, so I've put the sequel, or actually no, I can't actually remember which one came first, but Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I put that on there. Airplane, A Fish Called Wanda, which I also believe is sort of Monty Python linked, Groundhog Day, and Austin Powers, because I've never seen an Austin Powers movie. So there you go, they're the 6 choices that are currently there. So head on over to Patreon, you can make your votes regardless of whether you're a member or not. I made them completely available for everyone. Now, of course, I do need to thank all of my new subscribers for the month of August. I had 53 new subscribers, 11 of which are named, so their names should be scrolling through the video now, so thank you very much to each and every single one of you. And I want to start the comments today. Of course, if you're new, obviously I don't always read out every comment that's left, because I'd be here all night if I did that. I just do ones that I can actually give an actual response to. Now, I want to start with one that came sort of midway through the month. So I had a comment. I think it was actually on the last responding to your comments video from Jamie, who sort of thanked me for, you know, saying that oh, here it is actually, sorry, I did download it, I wasn't sure if I did or not. Yeah, Jamie basically said, love the response to your comments, it's a great touch, especially when your subscriber base feels like a little community, with all the regular faces popping up each month. I'm currently laid off after a serious car accident with a fractured sternum and ribs. My partner, a smashed wrist, both required surgery. On the upside, excuse me, I'm mumbling today, I've introduced her to the channel and watched your entire Still Game back catalogue with her. I was only just back to work after 8 weeks of pneumonia, and it's hit me hard as self-employed business. I can offer Patreon support, but as you can imagine, don't really have the funds at the moment. Your videos definitely helping us through the stress and pain, almost like getting back outside, almost. And that really touched me. You know, I thought that was, yeah, it was nice that my content has helped to put a smile on someone's face when they've when they've had a bad time. Again, if you're not already aware, I reached out to Jamie and basically said, you know what, I'm glad that I've helped you out here. I don't normally do this. Let me know something you'd like me to do a reaction to, and I promise I'll do that for you. In a way of helping you make you feel better. Jamie gave me 3 suggestions of Billy Connolly clips, and I did all 3 of them because they were relatively short. I was expecting to say like a half-hour episode of something, but so I did all 3 of them, and it was absolutely wonderful. The response from a lot of the community, that was kind of reaching out in their comments. Brett said, "What a lovely thing to do. I join you in sending love to Jamie and his partner." Pedro wishing a good speedy recovery to Jamie and his partner. Much love from our little geek community. Love that. Louisa, and this simple gesture is why you're the best YouTube creator full stop ever. Andy, much love also to the dude in recovery with his partner. Darren, I just want to say you're a top guy. The support you've shown to your viewers is admirable and inspiring. There should be definitely more creators like you. Massive get well soon to Jamie and his partner. Hope you're both doing well and feeling fast. Best wishes. So yeah, it wasn't just me sending love to Jamie, and I think it's Joanna. I think you said your partner is. Sorry, Joanne. Because I did reach out again to Jamie literally last night as I'm recording this. Just wanted to see how he's going, and Jamie's come back saying, "Pretty good now, thanks for asking. I'm about 5 weeks in now with my fractured sternum and ribs. I've just managed to sleep laying down again and been out for short 10-minute walks. I've taken it very slow for a few more weeks. My partner Joanne had to have her wrist broken again and reset with plates. Oof, I feel for you, Joanne." Her cast comes off Monday. We're slowly getting back to normality. Could have been so much worse than a 50-mile-an-hour crash. Thanks so much for the 3 colony reactions. We really appreciate it. All your subscribers have been great with their well wishes. Best little community in YouTube. So, again, I send all my love to Jamie and Joanne, and I thank all of my wonderful subscribers who have been so wonderful in sending your best wishes to Jamie and Joanne as well, because it can't be nice when you're having difficulties like that. On a sad note, though, I did, for the first time in the history of my YouTube, obviously I'm now kind of going into my 3rd year now, so I've done 2 full years of YouTube, and I've had to actually block someone from the community for the first time and delete all the comments, because this particular person, it got flagged up to me. The comments didn't go live or anything, but basically this person was like accusing me of like trying to use Jamie as a way of like exploiting him to get views and to get money out of it by doing it. And to you, I just say, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. I'm sorry. I try not to swear too much with stuff like that, but that person just insanely pissed me off, because that was never my intention, and I grant that pretty much most of the community knows that was not my intention. My intention was simply to be a nice person, to understand that there's someone out there who isn't doing so well. They've had injuries and they're trying to recover, and their life is a bit of shit right now, and so I wanted to do whatever I could in a tiny little way to help put a smile on their face, and hopefully I did that for you, Jamie and Joanna, but yeah, I've threatened it in the past, when people have kind of overstepped their marks a little bit, and I've said I won't be afraid to block people, because I will not have, outright negativity and stuff on the channel. This person crossed the line, and on more than one occasion they did a number of comments. I think it was quite clear that they didn't think that their comments was being seen or it wasn't being accepted, so they were trying similar kind of statements but reworded in a way to probably get around the algorithm so that it would be visible. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I didn't do it to get any views out of it. Okay, yes, I got some views out of it, but I did it for Jamie, and I did it for Joanne, and I did it to put a smile on her face. And 2 out of the 3 videos could be monetized. Yes. Was that the reason for me doing that? No. Do you want to know how much money I earned for those 2 videos based on the views I've got? So over the last 2 weeks, 15p. 15p is how much I've earned for those. But like I said, that was not the reason. So yeah, there you go. I didn't want to start off too negatively, because like I said, that was all done in a nice gesture for Jamie and Joanne. But yeah, I'm here to, I don't mess around. If you cross the line, I will let you know about it, and you will not be part of this community, because I love what I've built up in this community. Right, time to get on to the actual sort of comments. I appreciate I've gone off a little bit longer than I normally do at the start, but yeah, I needed to kind of get that stuff out there, Okay, so of course at the start of August we had the final episode of the British Empire. Paul says, "Oh dear, what a cop-out." And Winston says the show was all about British's dream. It was said every other episode. I think the ending fitted, but I get most people don't get the point. So my issue with that comment is similar to how I feel with Lost, because I liked the ending of Lost. And the reason I like the ending of Lost, and I agree that is something that I feel that the people who necessarily didn't like it and really complained about it were the ones who didn't get what it was trying to do. However, the difference here is that was very subtly implied throughout 6 years of that show. It was subtly implied that there was all these mystical forces, and it was this whole sort of science versus faith kind of thing throughout a number of different episodes, different years, different characters, and it all coming together. And the way it ended, although for some people it may feel like it was a bit of a cop-out or whatever, I don't think it was. It was very well done if you think about it from that sort of metaphorical sense. With the British Empire though, yes, I get what they're trying to do from that metaphorical sense from Brita's I have a dream, but there's a difference to just saying that and then it's being a dream. It was like, there was a few comments as well saying like the last episode was pretty good apart from that very final moment, and that is something I have to agree with. It was a pretty good episode, and then it's just tarnished. Honestly, it feels like it just ruined 7 years of build-up of all these different characters for nothing. And that's the thing. At least, again, with Lost, it kind of, it doesn't take away from anything that you ever saw in any of the earlier episodes. It is a continuation of that story. It is that progression. And that's where I just think it was the worst ending of anything that I've ever seen, and that disappointed me. Andy, told you to have watched the film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was for the Still Game episode. I think it was the last one of Series 7, if I remember rightly. You know what? I get that there was sort of supposed to be an homage to that movie. Obviously, I've not seen it, so I don't quite know what part of it was supposed to be the homage to. Did I lose anything from watching that Still Game episode without having seen that? No, I wouldn't say so. It was a good episode. Everything flowed well. If it is some sort of an homage to it, and I do watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest eventually, which I probably will do because it is on the list. Maybe by the time I see that, and I'll go, oh, okay, I appreciate the reference, and I can appreciate it, even though I'm seeing it sort of in reverse now. But I would still get it. But I didn't lose anything from the episode by having not seen the movie. I hope that makes sense. The tribute to Kenny Island was at the end of Series 7. For some reason, the version of Benidorm that you watched didn't include it, which is a shame, as it was a very hard-hitting moment that fitted with Series 7's ending brilliantly. I did actually go back and watch that final episode. I managed to find, it was a very low-quality version, but I managed to find one which basically had that kind of tribute part to it in. And to be honest, For me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I think because of the fact that I didn't know that Kenny Island had passed away, for me it was harder hitting seeing it in that whole bit where they go, due to a bereavement, we've had to close, blow and go. You see that picture of Kenny Island. That for me was more hard hitting. Again, you may disagree. If you're one of those people that didn't know that Kenny Island died, and like me, and then you saw episode 8, series 8, episode 1, would you feel the same? Or because that's the thing, I think most people who were watching it at the time probably knew that he'd already passed away, and that's why for them it was a bit harder hitting, because it was probably maybe fresher in their mindset. But like I said, for me personally, I just didn't know. So yeah, it's a difficult one, really difficult one. I was really waiting for this episode of Ghosts, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my favourites, as I think it does a really great job of humanising the captain and also balancing his more emotional backstory with the comedy without making either feel out of place. The captain is gay. It isn't really confirmed in the show in a more overt way than in this episode. That isn't to say that it doesn't come up again, no spoilers, but it is very clear in the Ghosts book and is mentioned often by the writers. Talking of the writers, I'm sure it's been mentioned before, maybe even by myself actually, but the 6 creators and writers of the show are also the actors. I didn't actually really realise that. I thought 1 or 2 of them were, not all of them. Ben Willibond, who plays the captain, Matthew Bainton as Thomas, Jim Howick as Pat, Martha Howell Douglas as Fanny, Simon Farnaby as Julian, and Larry Rickard as Robin and Humphrey, plus most of the play Ghosts. They're the same people behind the kids' musical sketch show Horrible Histories, which I'm sure you're probably aware of. I'm kind of aware of it. I've never seen any of Horrible Histories, so I can't really say much more than that. I'm aware of it. But yeah, that episode with the captain was fantastic. And I don't know what it is, but I particularly like seeing sort of depictions of gay characters in a time when it was a bit more frowned upon. Things like the war eras and maybe even medieval times or whatever. Because in reality, homosexuality has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. It's not just a modern phenomenon that's just sort of happened. It's been there as a thing. It's just it wasn't as widely proclaimed because it was taboo for most kind of cultures and things. Often for religion and things like that. So I like seeing depictions of it when it's handled in a really nice way. And in a sensitive way. I mean, something like Brokeback Mountain, I've always heard that that's been kind of done in quite a good way. I've never seen it, so I can't comment. But again, I've heard good things about how they utilise the depictions within the storylines. With Outnumbered, hopefully we should be able to watch the full reactions on YouTube like the last ones. I don't want to have to be interrupted by ads every 3 minutes on Daily Motions. Well, of course, back in June, the June Respond to Your Comments video, I did kind of talk about how you can sort of bypass the adverts for Daily Motion. So go back and check that video out if you didn't see it or you've forgotten. With Outnumbered, it's been really frustrating. So out of the 6 episodes that I've done for the first series, 5 of them have been able to have their full YouTube versions be unblocked and available for everybody. So that's episodes 1 to 3, 5 and 6. Episode 4 is the only one that I cannot get the partial block I've got on the full YouTube upload removed. I've tried my damn hardest, but I couldn't with that one. So that's the only one that still has a link for Dailymotion. And what I'm trying to do, once I realised that was a potential issue after I did the first few, I tried to get the later episodes recorded earlier so that I was in a position that I'd have the claims cleared quicker, so that there wouldn't be the issue when it was scheduled to go live. Now, as a result of all that, so I have actually recorded all 6 episodes of the In-Betweeners, Series 2, because obviously that, this is scheduled to go out Saturday or Sunday, the first full weekend of September. So the Friday just gone, the first Friday of September, would be the first day that the In-Betweeners goes live on YouTube, which at the time of me recording this video, unless anything changes, it's only been blocked in Russia. So I'm not going to bother doing a separate video to show you where it is on our Dailymotion for that one. I'm just going to have that one be there. So unless anything changes copyright-wise, it will be available for the vast majority of people around the world to be able to see that reaction to the In-Betweeners. But what I will also say is I have recorded every single one of that first series, and the plan, if all goes well, the day before it goes live on YouTube, that first episode, all 6 episodes will be available on Patreon. So if you don't want to wait 6 weeks and 6 Fridays to get to the last episode of Series 2, you will be able to literally watch it the day before it even goes live on YouTube. That's what I've tried to do with that one. I'm still exporting. I think I've got 2 more to export, but I've still got a couple to upload as well onto Patreon. But what that will also mean is I'm able to start my recordings for Outnumbered a little bit earlier. So I've already recorded the first 2 episodes of Series 2, which of course at the moment they're not scheduled to go out onto YouTube until end of October. So again, if I am able to do that, it means hopefully I can get them ready so that they're able to be copyright free, fingers crossed, much earlier, and there won't be that Dailymotion issue. But again, my plan will be for Outnumbered to have them available for the Patreons much earlier than waiting for them on YouTube. So again, apologies for a bit of a long-winded explanation there for that comment, but there you go. I'm doing my best to try and avoid Dailymotion stuff where I can, ultimately. Jamie from the Still Game episode, Fly Fishing. This is one of my favourites from the new series for sure. It's a very good one. I really did expect you to call it about Winston falling down the hole, but there was quite a lot going on at the end of this one. It was a great little callback to the dentist at the end too. Methadone Mick has some great little cameos in these seasons. Even though it misses a few times, if anything, I'd say Series 9 is even better than 8. And as I always say, I'm shocked at the hatred that the later series gets from some really passionate fans of Still Game. But hey, if you say that it's better than what we've had so far, and I'm still enjoying what we've had so far, I'm down for it. I'm really down for it. You will have to let me know. I've heard rumours that in Series 9 there is a 2-parter episode. Let me know about that, because if there is, I'll need to think. Do I do them on the same day? Do I maybe do it where I do on the day that the first part goes out, maybe then upload the second part onto Patreon so you can see it literally that same day? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But first of all, let me know if that is even a thing. Back to Benidorm. John, I really don't like the new Sharon. I don't really like Sharon, who is the new Janice. I just don't like her. She's clearly prejudiced towards Eddie, the granddad. I mean, fair, he shouldn't have pushed Jodie into the pool, but like you said, you can't learn to swim without getting in the water. And as for the deluxe hotel room, he was fully entitled to that room. He paid for it with his own money. Simple as that. But Sharon has to make sure that everything he does is solely to wind her up, and I just hate her. They should have brought Janice back. I mean, what I will say with that is what we do forget at times, as much as we love their dynamic, there was a similar dynamic between Mick and with Madge. So, is that more of a just like, I really miss the Garveys, I really don't like the new family, or they just feel like a straight up replacement for them? It's a hard one, because there are definitely similarities that you can feel with them. They're 2 families, they're both northern, they've both got an elderly member with the 2 parents. One of them, they have that clash with the in-law, So there's a lot of stuff that I can see the familiarities with, but yeah. I mean, especially, is it Robert? Is the son? I quite like him. And because obviously there's such a big gap between him and Jodie, that adds a nice dynamic. I mean, the last episode I did was the one where Robert is with Jodie in the pool, and then he's sort of flirting with Amber and stuff, and there's a bit of backwards and forwards. So yeah, I don't know. I don't mind them. Yeah. Yes, I would say I still have a sense of soft spot and nostalgia for the Garveys, but yep, that's what it is. Middle-class suburban 70s porn could pretty much describe everything Mike Wozniak stars in. And yes, he really does have that moustache. I saw him live earlier this year. It's mesmerising. I mean, it's very much like it was the guy that was in Friends and Magnum PI and things, wasn't he? Tom Selleck. It's very much a Tom Selleck style moustache. I'm always envious, and I always wonder how someone is able to grow a moustache like that. I always wonder if I just let mine go, will I eventually get something like that? I don't know. I've never attempted it, but I'd be interested to see what I might look like with a sort of that sort of style moustache. Please, someone don't Photoshop that on me. Actually, no, maybe do, because I think that maybe would be funny if you did. What I did find out, actually, someone mentioned it to me the other day. They haven't spoiled anything about it, but apparently Mike Wozniak will be starring in a later series of Taskmaster, which will be absolutely fantastic. I would be very interested to see what he's like in that. Kevin, have your policies changed as you've got older? So this was sort of when I did the Billy Connolly video for Jamie. I sort of mentioned that pretty much the one and only time I've been in Scotland was I was going to annual sitting when I was a member of the UK Youth Parliament. So I am the kind of person, I don't really have political viewpoints as such. I don't support particular parties or anything like that. I don't like people that do, personally. It's just my personal opinion, because I think you have to be able to be flexible and adjust and know that as time goes on, your priorities are going to change. What you would want to get out of a party is going to change for the vast majority of people. Because if you could vote for, say, Labour at one point because you're a working class family, maybe then you get a family, you start earning a bit more money, then maybe you might be leaning a bit more conservative way, or then maybe you're thinking, I want to think of a little bit more now, I'm going into my elder years, I want to think more elderly, so I might lean towards Liberal Democrat, or whatever the case may be. I think you're always going to be adaptive, and so if you're rigidly always, I am always going to be Labour, I'm always going to be Conservative, or UKIP, or whatever particular affiliation you could be, I don't think that's healthy. And so yes, in a way, my policies, in a way, would have changed, because obviously when I was a member of the Youth Parliament, everything I was doing was targeted towards what was, required for the young people in my kind of constituency and everything. When I first got into politics, I remember being maybe 12 or something. I remember the first time seeing a sort of a political kind of advert broadcasting for an upcoming election. Obviously, I wasn't able to vote, but I remember it being about the Liberal Democrats. And I remember thinking at that time, because it didn't really affect me as such, but they were talking a lot about how they wanted to care for the elderly and stuff like that. And the my main focus at that time was I want my nan to be looked after really, really well, and I want her to be I was like, if I was able to vote right now, I'd be going for Liberal Democrats. So like I said, my viewpoints will always change depending on what is right for me or what I feel would be the right party for me at the time. But mostly, I just want everyone to be happy, healthy, safe. So for that viewpoint, maybe my policies haven't changed. I want everyone to have access to good health care in a reasonable time frame. I want people to feel safe in their homes. I don't want people to feel that they can't trust the police because there's not enough police around, and if you call the police, you want to feel that they're going to be responding to you. It's all those kind of things which yeah, I just want people to be happy and safe. I think that's my main thing. Kevin, please do more episodes of that Peter Kay thing. That probably won't be until the new year, because I've pretty much got all of the next couple of months planned out pretty much solidly, because obviously we're in the run up to Christmas, so I've been working towards a lot of stuff, so there's very few kind of vacant slots that I can really fit stuff in. There might be the odd time I might think, oh, I could do this, and I'll put it in as a double upload, but I want to try and avoid that where I can, because obviously I've got 4 movies for Halloween to edit and put together. I'll obviously have another one which will be for November, for whichever one the community choose for. In theory, I should be having 3 for December, so things like that are going to really eat up into my time. Cheers, Kevin. Have a great weekend. Did you decide not to Abigail's party? So I did actually respond technically to Paul already on this one. You obviously, I said, I couldn't find the link of what you sent to me. You did send me a new link, which was great, but I can't download it. It's blocked in my view, so I can't even see it. I tried my downloader that I've got, and I couldn't download it. So if you have a copy that you can send to me, maybe like put onto your Google Drive or something like that, so that I can download it, contact me, feel free, maybe message me on Patreon or something like that, and I'll definitely do what I can with that. Dr. Kiko, this was a great one. So in the Still Game episode, I think this might have been the one where Eric died actually, but I said like, does anyone know why a puggy is called a puggy? And you've actually come back with me with a really great one. So best explanation I could find for a puggy is puggy was an old slang term for a monkey in Scotland. When travelling organ grinders began to tour Europe, their crank handle organs became known as puggy machines because of the monkey dancing on them. When one-arm bandit-style slot machines were introduced to the UK, their crank handle operation system reminded people of old organ grinders, so it became known as playing the puggy machine, and eventually just the puggy. It's one of those things that's totally lost to time, and puggy just means a fruit machine now. And you know what? I love that. I love that, because there's so many things, isn't there, that just one day you'll think, why is such and such called that? Or where did such and such word come from, or whatever? And then you look into it, and I may be the only one, and maybe I'm just a dork, but I find that stuff really fascinating. So thank you for giving me that explanation. That was fantastic. So James Martin, who played Eric, apparently wanted to leave the series, and Greg and Ford didn't want him to go, but they granted his request. There is actually an article. If you look up and like sort of Google, Eric James Martin leaving the show, there is an article. I think it was with the BBC or a Scottish paper or something like that. And he went into it in a little bit more detail, which I obviously learned after the episode, and I really respect him for that. And fair play to him. He's apparently still alive and kicking. He's 93 years old now. So, all the best to you, James. All the best wishes, and I hope you have a good health and you're enjoying the your retirement basically. Another great episode of Goodnight Sweetheart. Yes, it is the same date in both time zones. It's just the year that's different. You'll get a sight of that at Christmas/New Year's Eve episode. So that is really good to know. I did kind of guess that a little bit with the obviously where they're going backwards. Well, rather, where Gary's going backwards and forwards and having dinner with the two of them. But yeah, it's good to get that clarification. So thank you for that, Magic Pumpkin. This one was from the Fat Friends reaction. Honestly, one of the most emotional ones I've ever done, so I highly recommend you check that out if you haven't seen it. Well, to be fair, the whole show, I think it's a great show and very underrated. I love how you can feel totally free to be open and honest with your emotions and how much you related to this particular story. Heartbreaking story you told there. Keep being the amazing person you are with the knowledge that those bullies are probably up shit creek with their lives now, whilst you are just amazing. Well, I appreciate that. I like to think I've got a pretty decent life. I've got good friends, I've got a good family who I love and who love me, and I of course have you guys. And you guys are effectively now my family as well. I really do consider there's so many names that of course I see kind of cropping up on a regular basis, and that's partly why I want to do this. Because I do kind of feel that you guys are my family, and I did say At the end of the Still Game episode that would have come out last weekend, if you didn't stick around to the end of it, I'd suggest going back and checking it out. But basically, I've got two things that I'd like to do Still Game related. One would be to do a Still Game quiz with obviously assistance from you guys. So I answer questions, you supply questions basically. And I would like to do a trip up to Scotland particularly, because I mean, to be honest, I don't know where most people are from this community. You could be literally here, there and everywhere, but I do know I have a big, strong contingency from Scotland. So I was thinking maybe like towards Christmas time, around maybe the time of my birthday, towards the end of November, particularly if there's like a Christmas market or something going on around that time, that would be fantastic for me to come up. And yeah, and if any of you are around who want to do a little catch up and have a drink or whatever, you know, I think that'd be a lovely thing to do to see you guys. Because like I said, you guys are like my family. You know, I've been doing this 2 years, pretty much on a daily basis, and I've gone through some shit times over the last couple of years, and it's because of you guys that keeps me going and keeps me sane a lot of the times. So, like I said, I love all of you guys. Love how this show goes from emotion to emotion, and even after the sad dream of Jamie thinking about his parents, that guy asking can he have a bite of his Mars bar lifted the mood back up. Was so funny, but at the same time sad because he was probably homeless. And that is the kind of thing like that, and that Still Game, and so many different shows that I've seen, when you have that wonderful blend of really deep emotion and outright comedy, it is just a wonderful balance. And that is the kind of shows that I particularly respond to. I thought the early series and this episode of One Foot in the Grave was okay, but nothing special. It feels a bit hollow and has a 70s sitcom vibe. It made me smile in places but not really laugh. The show doesn't get good until series 2, but series 3 is utterly brilliant, as funny as Benidorm. It's worth investing the time in, but going by this and the previous episode, I can understand why you may not think that. I don't think that at all. I love One Foot in the Grave. From the 2 episodes that we've done so far, I'm already really chortling with laughter. I mean, definitely not as much as the first episode of the second series of Outnumber. I did that yesterday, and oh my god, I am wetting myself. I am literally laughing like start to finish. That may be the most I've laughed in any episode. You know, but for pretty much the entire duration of it, it was that funny. So when that episode comes out, you need to watch it. You need to. But yeah, One Foot in the Grave, I love it. I love that sort of cranky old man kind of thing, because my nan, you know, I love her to, well, obviously she's gone now, but I loved her to pieces, and her partner, John, was always very much that sort of gruff, grumpier old man, and sort of sarcastic and everything. So yeah, I respond to stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if you say it gets even better, I'm down for it. Still on One Foot in the Grave, Paul. Oh, you already know you want to do 2 Christmas specials. Go on. I think I am. I probably am going to do it. Now, again, at the moment, I don't quite know how I'm going to do it. My probable way of doing it is to make sure that I watch every episode of One Foot in the Grave before the 2 Christmas specials. That is, you know, an absolute must. I'm not going to watch them out of order. I realistically don't think I'm going to have enough time to get them all out by the time we get to December, at least on YouTube. So here's what I'm potentially thinking. I may continue doing them on a monthly basis to November. Obviously have the Christmas specials come out in December. Obviously make it clear that I have seen all of the episodes. I'm just obviously releasing the Christmas ones early to tie into Christmas. Because I have a strong feeling that show may become one that becomes a weekly show anyway at some point next year. So, you know, we'll of course have to see with that one, because obviously Benidorm is going to be coming to an end, because that should be finishing series 10. I should basically finish series 9 by Christmas, and then series 10 will be the start of the year. So after that, there's another free slot up for grabs there for a weekly show. So it's quite possible that it may become a weekly show. Of course, ultimate decision will probably come down to you guys, but there's a strong possibility of that. So yeah, we'll just have to see with that one. We absolutely will. But the intention is to do the Christmas specials for One Foot in the Grave this year. Pregnant was my personal favourite not going out episode. Plus, I have a crush on both Sally Bresson and Miranda Hart. Sally, I completely understand. Completely understand. It makes complete sense. She is a damn fine cutie patootie. Miranda Hart, not one I have ever thought about. I get where you're coming from. I get what, it's that sort of sarcastic wit about her. That would be, I think, one of the things that would make me a bit more attracted to her, more so than a physical appearance, But hey, I always value personality more so than looks anyway. I saw The Sixth Sense knowing the twist, but I still found it very good. And you know what? It's been one of those I've just been toying with for years. Maybe I'll watch it, maybe I won't. I don't know. I probably will. I probably will at some point, but I would obviously have to put a disclaimer out there say, I know the twist ending, so don't be surprised if I don't go when it comes to it. But yeah, I probably will watch it at some point. Glumpy McClumpface. First of all, every comment that puts the whole Glumpy McClumpface thing on there, it held them for review, and I had to go and manually approve them to be visible. I don't know what it was about those two words, but everyone that had that, literally, YouTube algorithm was going, oh, this is a comment you may want to review because it may have violated the standards. I was like, what? Why? So yeah, that gives you some idea of how ridiculous the YouTube AI bits and bobs can go in. But I'm glad you read the newspaper. I often struggle to read that much more than once a month as it feels like a chore. Really? Hey, are you talking about you read that fake article and fake magazine bit from the Still Game once a month? Or reading a newspaper once a month? Because reading an actual newspaper once a month, yeah, that I get would be a chore. The Still Game one, just out of curiosity, why would you want to read that? At least once a month. Just fill me in there. I'm clearly missing something. Back to Benidorm. I love Jeff and Noreen. I love Paul and Noreen, but Jeff and Pauline, as much as I love them as characters, I'm not sure I like them together. So I have basically sort of responded to this comment already in the recent Benidorm episode. As a general rule, I quite like the way that Jeff is being a little bit more mature, and I think he is a character that is very misunderstood. He's really, really misunderstood, and I like the way that they're handling him. Personally, I love the dynamic with him and Paulie. Maybe I'm in the minority, I don't know. But that's me. From the 2 Pints of Lager and Pack of the Crisps episode. Great stuff as always, Kevin. Also, the second line of the theme tune chorus is "and a pack of flakies." Okay. You've answered that one for me. I now have a follow-up question. What is a pack of flakies? You have to let me know that as well now. Where are we? Oh, Inside Number 9. I dipped in and out of this series, Inside Number 9. Very dark. A League of Gentlemen was highly recommended. A couple of people have suggested that one, so I'll definitely have to try and look at that at some point. Car Share's a good watch. Phoenix Nights, followed by Max and Paddy Road to Nowhere. Put it in your diary, Kevin. Andy, you tell me pretty much, I can guarantee at least once a month. You always do this. Every time it'll be either like these couple of things, or it might be reminding me about Rising Damp, or various stuff. Don't worry, I am fully aware. I have them in the diary, obviously. I think with like some of the particularly like the Phoenix Night stuff. People have said to me, you kind of need to, well, you don't need to, but it'd be very helpful to watch all of the That's Peter Kay episodes first, because that gives you a better understanding for the Phoenix Night stuff. Again, some people may disagree with that, but that's probably where I'm going to be going with this. I'll probably try and do it sort of in that order. It just makes a bit more sense for me, and just the way my brain works as well. I hear rumbles of the In-Betweeners making a comeback. Yes. It is coming back to the YouTube channel, isn't it? Oh, you mean the actual show? Yes, I have read that. I have read that over the last couple of days. I've seen a few articles and stuff. There's rumours that it might be a TV show, might be another movie. So let's think about this. So the show came out originally, what was it, about 2008? So 2008, 9, 10. Movie was 11. Second movie was 12 or 13. So we're talking like 10 years later. So in theory, these are going to be in-betweeners who are probably similar age to myself, actually. Maybe 30 to 35-ish. My potential criticism with that would be, like, you take like the character of Jay as an example. Now, of course, I have seen now all the way through to the end of series 2. I just obviously haven't released them at the time of this. But like, I really liked what they did with Jay at the end, the very last episode of series 2. And obviously, I don't know how his character will develop moving forwards, but just on what we have seen so far, if you try and put Jay from the TV show in his 30s, still acting the same way, that may come across quite cringy and weird and stupid. Similarly, if you try and take him too far away from that, it's not really the same character anymore. So they would have a massive challenge on their hands to try to not mess that up. I would not want to be in charge of that. That would be difficult to pull off. You got to think things like fan expectations, which, okay, you could say something like Gavin and Stacey. Obviously, that came back after about 10 years or so away, and that was very well received. Everyone loved that Christmas episode to the point that they're making another one, the true finale of the show, which in a way I thought series 3 ended pretty damn well with that show. But it's going to be interesting what they do with the In-Betweeners if they decide to move forward with that. Obviously, I may have a different view after I've seen the 2 movies as well, because then that may change my perspective of things. With Outnumbered, the Sue and Angela argument is one of the funniest moments of the show and truly demonstrates the show's balance of comedy and domestic drama. Your reaction to it did not disappoint. Also, respect to Pete for handling the situation incredibly well. Like, it's amazing the strong opinion Source can provoke. I love that line. That was a truly amazing line. Top class reality avoidance talk, Pete. Yeah, that. I mean, I was watching that back when I was doing my editing, and like people were saying, "Oh, you're going to be laughing your ass off" and stuff like that. And I was watching, like, are people going to be disappointed with my reaction? Because they're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be literally going ha 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 all the time." But I was like, oh, this is awkward. Oh, but hey, yeah, but if I say I didn't disappoint, then great, I did my job clearly. Trust me, you'll come to hate Angela more and more throughout the show. I wouldn't even say I hate or even didn't necessarily dislike Angela at the moment. I quite like her as a character. I like the dynamic that she has with her and Sue. If I have to be super critical, the fact that she literally leaves the family in the lurch and says, "I'm literally flying back to America tomorrow," knowing that they've got all these plans to kind of sell up or rent their house out so they can all go travelling, and they're relying on her looking after Granddad. Yeah, that's a dick move. That is a real dick move. Obviously, when you see Series 2, Episode 1, you'll see how I react to Angela showing back up again. No spoilers from me. You'll have to wait and see with that one. The second Back to the Future movie isn't the least well received. It's probably the best received along with the first. I mean, again, it's always a matter of opinion. I can only do the little bit of research that I could before watching that movie, and of course I actually recorded that movie about a month, 2 months ago, something like that now. From what I was reading, it was basically like the first one is one of the best ones, and then the third one is one of the best. So just by default, it makes it technically one of the least well received. Hey, I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the first one. I've enjoyed the second one. I'm pretty damn sure I'm going to enjoy the last one as well. I'm not sure when that will come out, but It will at some point, as well, of course, as doing the third Lord of the Rings movie, because obviously later on this month there is going to be the two-part upload, the condensed version of YouTube for Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. If you want to see specific dates and everything of what I'm doing, there is a public post on my Patreon which gives you a breakdown, subject to change, everything that I'm releasing and on the dates that they'll be theoretically coming out on YouTube as well this month. So head on over, you can check that out. You don't need to be a member to see that. It is it is a freely available public post. You don't need to be a paid member or anything like that. Congratulations on 3 years of YouTube, Kevin. I've always thought your videos were very professional for being quite a small channel, but even more so for only 3 years. And I appreciate that. I've always treated this in a very professional way. And of course, I've gone into this having very little technical knowledge and ability. And obviously, if you go back to those original videos, like obviously I started streaming from my PlayStation. So there was no video. It was all audio, and it was from the shitty little plug-in headset thing I had. So it was never any great quality.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I am Kevin the Geek. I have 0% brains, but I'm a 100% geek.
Then I was able to get a camera for the PlayStation, so I could have my face up, but I was still limited by the PlayStation software on there. So then I tried making some videos through the PlayStation, like some early kind of football World Cup sort of related ones, and then I started making videos from my phone, which I still do, and it's literally still the same phone.
Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. If you are new, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, my name is Kevin, I am a geek, and you are watching Kevin the Geek.
And I use an app that I'd managed to download, which is where I did all my editing on, and they were mostly videos, things like reviews and stuff. And then my early load of reactions, it was like the Ted Lasso, all of Series 3, that was all done literally exclusively on my phone. The first couple of episodes of Still Game were all exclusively on my phone. So that's where people were going like, oh, the audio levels isn't quite great. I was like, yeah, because everything's on my phone and it will sound different than when it goes uploaded, and I'm still learning, and I appreciated all the kind words and the time that people gave for me to adapt and evolve. And obviously I got a computer, I've got a green screen, and so I'm constantly looking to improve, and I'd like to learn more about how I edit and things like that. So I'm always looking to improve. So yeah, I appreciate that it may not look the best. You look at some stuff and they're also amazing, with their amazing thumbnails and stuff like that. You got to remember, I do everything myself. I record everything myself, I edit everything myself, I create all the thumbnails myself, I work full time, I do babysitting for a 3-year-old nephew, I do theatre work in my spare time. My life is so busy, and I still manage to do 7-day-a-week uploads. I think that's what a lot of people don't appreciate, is how much work goes into this, for what is essentially a hobby. Because I'm not looking to make serious big money out of this. All my things, like the Patreon supporters who've put some money in. I mean, I earned, I don't know, what it was, maybe about £50 or so from my first month of Patreons, which I'm so grateful for. All of that, it will be going towards like looking and getting like a new camera, so I don't have to use my phone so much for my recording anymore. I can have that a little bit separate, and that will change things. Get a few more lights and all this different stuff to improve the quality. So I'm always looking to better my content, and I will always appreciate any support, advice, guidance, anything that anyone ever wants to give to me. So thank you as always. Now, we're on to the final thing now. I appreciate this has been a very, very long episode. We're almost at an hour now, so I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can. But unfortunately, this is not something that will necessarily be quite quick. So I appreciate some people may tune off by this point. They may have already gone. So if you are, then thank you and everything. But so this last one, I just saw this and I thought, oh, this is quite cool, and I wanted to kind of, because this was a very long comment, I've actually had to break it down into like 10 different screenshots for it. You'll see what I mean when I come to it. But Joseph said, as you're nearly at the end of Benidorm, I thought I would do a script for like an extra episode set after series 10. So basically season 11. I would love if you could react to it. So it is a script that Joseph has apparently written. First of all, what I will say is I did actually similarly read about how In-Betweeners might be making a comeback. I read this week that apparently Benidorm might be making a comeback because Darren Litton, who's the creator of the show, has apparently written around about 70 odd episodes. And he said as well that he never thought the show really was given like a proper conclusion to it. And he's basically in talks, I think, with ITV. So that is interesting. That's something to keep an eye out on. So I'm going to do my best here. I'm not the best with accents. I am a performer, but I'm not the best. So we'll see how we go with this. Bob, what a horrendous flight that was. 15-hour flight with a 3-hour delay and really bad turbulence, but at least I'm in paradise now. Matteo, would you like to check in or complain about your flight for another hour? Bob, I'd like to check in and don't be smart, Matteo. I've heard all about you with the guests here and you won't be getting any from my wife today or the rest of the holiday. Matteo, fine. Your last name and your hometown, please. The last name is Mitchell and me and my wife are from LA. Oh, maybe he's American then. Matteo, you flew all the way from Americas just to come to this hotel? Well, no, we came to go to Benidorm and for the looks of this hotel we'll be getting a 1-star review on TripAdvisor. Ooh, he's evil. He hasn't just arrived as well. Matteo, you're in room 109. Thank you. Where is your wife? She's getting the suitcases off the bus. Tonya! Oh, Bob, why did you pick up this hotel? I came here with my ex-husband and said Father Hotels last time. There's no way I'm staying in this hotel again. Ha! Tonya! I'm sorry, but when you said how long the flight was, but didn't tell me where we're going, I thought we'd be going to Africa or somewhere decent. You're with this crazy woman, by the way. She's got a really good voice and stole my €100. Let's just go to our room. Okay, is this way to the lifts? This room isn't that bad. They must have redesigned the hotel room since I came. You stole that Matteo's money? Well, not really. My son Tiger and one of his lunatic friends bet €50 each on a volleyball game and he didn't give them back, so I did a bit of karaoke, got it back. Meanwhile, on reception... Oh, Janice, okay. We're bringing all of them back now, aren't we? Can we check in, please? How come you're not in Las Vegas? Well, we sold our land in Las Vegas, came back to UK and decided we needed a holiday. You sold your land? Are you crazy? You were millionaires and now you're back to nothing. Madge, you just shut your gob and give us our rooms. I can't do the gruff voice from that. Oh, Leslie. Madge, what a great surprise it is to see you. See, Les wouldn't call her Madge. He'd call her Mrs. Harvey or Mrs. H. It wouldn't be Madge. As Vegas, well, some things. Hang on, what? Well, some things don't change. You're still wandering around the hotel as a woman. Oh yes, I'll never be Les again. I've had the change operation. Oh my God. Anyway, if you need to know, we moved back to UK and came here on a holiday. Michael has messaged asking if we had landed. Mick and Janice, you're in room 205, and Madge, you're in 111. Not even on the same floor. Round the pool, it feels weird not having Michael here. Madge, oh, will you just shut up about Michael? He decided he didn't want to come. Mick, just forget about him on this holiday. Janice, oh my God, it's that beauty therapist who was here with her family last time we came. Mick, I did not expect us to be back. Is that a new partner? Janice, I'm going over to say hello. Sorry. Janice, hello, it's Tonya, isn't it? Tonya, oh my God, it's Jan, isn't it? Janice, it's Janice, not Jan. Oh, she's still not over that. Tonya, okay, Janice is my husband, Bob. I live in LA now. Janice, oh really? What happened to Clive? Well, I found a pair of someone's knickers in his car and they weren't mine. Oh, bye then. That feels a little bit like Janice. What'd she say? Tonya said that her and Clive got a divorce because she found someone else's knickers in Clive's car and she moved to LA and found a new husband, Bob, sorry, I read that as boob. Bob, Tonya, that Janice is talking about you to her mother. That nosy git. In reception, we're still going. Matteo, welcome to Solana. What can I do for you? Jack, I'm here to get my room and the hotel. Is that Jack as in who's always been after Janice? Matteo, what do you mean get the hotel? Jack, well, Matteo, meet your new manager of the Solana. Oh, interesting. Matteo, what happened to Joyce Temple Savage? Jack, well, let's just say she's out on business. Matteo, fine, you're in room 016 and that's the manager's room. Interesting. Neptune. Mick, the food's a bit nicer than when you came. At least there's no gone off pig this time. Yep. Yes, squirrel. No gone off pig. Tonya, look at all these fat people that stuff in their faces with all this horrible food. Bob, they don't call this all-inclusive for nothing. Jeff, it's lovely to be back in paradise. Yes, Jeff. Pauline, stop calling this place paradise. It's nowhere near paradise, but it would be a bit more of a Maltby holiday if Mum was still here. Jeff, she'll be looking down at us from heaven. Oh, no, don't do that to me. We can't kill off Noreen. I mean, Elsie is still alive in real life. I did quickly Google that and look that up beforehand. So, yeah. Well, what I will say, it's obviously nowhere near the length for a Benidorm episode. I'll say you're definitely a fan of the show. I think you've got a lot of the kind of the nuances of the characters, right? From someone who is not a scriptwriter but has done kind of show stuff, a lot of the scenes I think would require extra padding, pushing out. It's got some bare bone structures. That's not too bad. Obviously only really one new character, which is that Bob. Be interested how you write some new characters. Yeah, let me know if you ever do any more. But that's going to do it for this month's responding to your comments video. My voice is going right now. But all I can say is, of course, thank you to all of my new subscribers. Thank you to all of my patrons. And thank you to anyone else, because you're all so welcome, and I just appreciate all the time and love that you send all the time. And just remember, don't be a dick, or else I will block you from the channel. That's going to do it for now. Thank you so very much for supporting as always. But for now, my name's Kevin. I am a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.